Quentin, I got one of the best jobs in the world, Executive Director of North Carolina State Firefighter Association.
I'm sure it's a good job, Tim, and I know it's an important job, but what is something that keeps you up at night?
Well, probably the thing that worries me the most is rosters, believe it or not. Fire chiefs are required to keep the rosters for their members, and that gives me a lot of concern.
Gives you a lot of concern. What do you mean? Because I know we hear a lot about rosters and something about this 36 hours everybody's supposed to do, but what's the problem? What goes on with it?
Well, it's an administrative issue, but all benefits, state benefits, workers' comp, line of duty death, even our 24-hour accidental death and dismemberment insurance, all derive from the rosters. If the roster is not correct, an individual may lose their benefits. For example, I joined the fire department. The chief's supposed to put me on the roster. 2 weeks from now, he hasn't done that, and I'm injured in line of duty. It draws into question, am I covered by workers' comp? If I lose an arm, do I get the accidental death and dismemberment? There's just so many things. Even now with our new cancer benefits, that's another issue. The importance of adding and keeping that roster up to date gets lost on a lot of fire chiefs. We really have to push them to do that.
So you're telling me a firefighter may not get their benefits just because their chief doesn't have the roster filled out and certified by a proper date?
Yeah, that's correct. For example, we require the rosters January 15th of each year. What's called a certified roster, which means the fire chief is certified that that individual met the requirements for a firefighter, i.e. they got 36 hours of training the previous year, or at least if they join halfway through the year, three hours a month to compensate for 36 hours a year. So let's say they don't get that roster in. Just something as simple as they lose their year of pension service. We transfer that information to the treasurer's office to record for pension, for the fire and rescue workers' pension. If they're not on the roster, they don't get credit for that year. And let's say 10 years ago, Quentin, your fire chief left you off the roster. You didn't get your 36 hours. Here you are getting ready to retire this year. You think you've got 20 years of service. The Fire and Rescue Workers Pension Office and Treasurer's Office only shows you 19 because one of those years the chief didn't put you in the roster, didn't get it in on time. Now you can go back and try to get the whoever was fire chief to do affidavits and pull training records, but it's a huge issue. Let's look at one even more critical than that. Let's say a firefighter dies in the line of duty. Fire chief didn't get the rostering. The Industrial Commission State Treasurer's Office, they look at that roster. Were they a certified firefighter? Line of duty death requires that you're a certified firefighter, which means you're on the roster. There are all kind of benefits tied to that roster, and it's one of the most important aspects of a chief's job.
And we keep talking, and everything you said, it makes me know that I know rostering is important and certifying those rosters is important. What's the actual deadline for that?
Well, the general statutes require us to get it to the treasurer's office by January 31st. So we require fire chiefs to get them to us January 15th. That gives us 15 days to compact and throw together a complete listing of all the rostered firefighters in North Carolina. And it's very simple. You do it online. And you know, if your roster is up to date from last year, it's usually just additions and corrections. And then, of course, the certification. Along with the rosters, you do your Board of Trustees report for your relief fund. If they haven't changed, it's just a matter of clicking certify that is the accurate Board of Trustees report. It's not a long, arduous job, but it's something that probably carries as much significance as any responsibility the chief has.
And we know we can find this online on our resource tab under the new Chief's Guide. It talks about rostering, certifying those rosters, as well as benefits and other information. But that's a good tab for them to go look at, correct?
Exactly. You know, we extend a lot of effort. We do emails, we send certified letters, if we're a week away and we've got 300 departments that have done the rosters, we do one calls to all those chiefs that have not submitted the rosters. But you're right, we provide them a resource listing, and there's a chief document on our website. It's simple to do, but it's not something you should ignore.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds like something easy. I think it's probably time for me to go make sure my department's roster is up to date.
And talk to all your neighboring fire chiefs.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Quentin.